What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Post Pro podcast. It's episode 21, and we're here to talk about movies because that's what we do.
Before we start, I want to give a shout out to Don Cobb, our lovely viewer.
No.
Shout out to him real
Oh,
quick.
wow. You really went right at it, huh?
Yeah, I'm giving a shout out. He's one of our loyal viewers. I got to give him a shout out.
Well, he did ask. What were your plans? How would you have executed it?
Oh, should I just go right into that real quick?
No.
Yeah,
Noah hasn't even seen Tenet.
I don't know. Well, I don't really have a transition, so I don't know. Do we want to get started with news?
Let's do news.
I'm pretty confident to say something.
I mean,
Oh,
I think
I definitely have stuff, but I don't have like a lot.
Then we should start off with the big one we were just talking about.
Yeah.
The Dune
Dune
trailer. It looks
Yeah.
great.
I mean, I haven't seen it, so I can't say anything.
Yeah.
So.
You've seen stills. I mean, there isn't really much to talk about. You've seen stills. The worm looks cool. I think the trailer was fine. I actually preferred the teaser, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, so did I.
I wasn't a big fan, and I'm not a big fan of the overuse of slowed down songs in a dramatic fashion for Hollywood films.
No, I liked
I
it.
really love this Watchmen soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
But
I thought it was fine. I'm a big Pink Floyd fan. I thought it worked with the trailer, especially since it's Eclipse. I thought it was cool, but it's just me.
yeah. I'm still really looking forward to the movie,
no, yeah, I think the movie looked good. I just don't think the trailer was cut well.
and it could have just been overhyped because everyone, the Dune trailer's coming, So
It was a big thing. I mean, it's been number one on trending on YouTube for 2 days now, and it's already at 11 million views.
Which is
Nice.
weird because Batman didn't even get that top trending for a while.
I mean, honestly,
I'd say Dune is more popular than Batman, or at least like more anticipated.
That's what's weird. 'Cause I
Yeah.
didn't really perceive how big Dune is.
No,
And,
the Batman trailer has 21 million.
Oh.
I mean,
Well,
it's been 2 weeks,
It's
but
just weird
Yeah.
though, because I didn't think people really cared about Dune until all the hype is out for this movie. I'm like, well, shit. I guess people like Dune. I didn't know.
I feel like it's one of those things that not everybody has read, but even if you haven't read it, you're kind of excited for it.
Yeah,
It just
I
kind of
have
exists so pervasively.
well, it was
I mean,
also
it's
just
definitely not it's not the biggest novel of all time or anything, or
Mhm.
even the biggest sci-fi novel of all time. I just feel
But-
like it kind of has a level of everybody's aware of it to some extent, even if
when
it's
it
just
got announced, right? All the film fans heard one of the best working directors today was attached to it, and then they got excited for that, and they looked at what Dune is, and they see that this has this whole fandom, and that is considered one of the best books ever written, and the father of all sci-fi. And I feel like it just has that
and the cast was announced.
oh, and then the
People,
cast too.
yeah.
Oh man.
And then, everything else 2020 happened. So they're like, okay, well, we got Tenet. Now I guess Dune is next, People
Dune?
craving for some big movies.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy. I feel like
James Bond.
West Side Story was one of the things I was looking forward to at the beginning of
Is
this
there
year.
even a
I was
trailer
just,
for that yet?
Exactly. It's not
Yeah.
even on my radar, really.
One of my friends, he got an audition for West Side Story, and they didn't put him in the movie, but he did an audition for it. So I
Yeah.
mean, that's pretty cool. I was like,
That is
cool.
cool.
Yeah, a couple people around here actually are in it. I know one actor from around here that
Yeah.
my friend was in. He knows he got on that movie. Anyway, yeah, I'm curious to see how that's gonna go too, because Spielberg musical West Side Story, interesting. I'm interested in it.
I'm looking forward to it.
I do like the original a lot though, so I'm hoping that they don't tarnish it. But
Not seen
I
it.
don't-
I mean, I don't really know what tarnish would mean to a musical like that.
well, I just think the original cast was so good. I'm a little skeptical. That's all.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, on to our next story.
Anyone take it away. I honestly don't have anything.
Fuck.
Okay, well,
Damn, you're
huge
really
news.
putting us on the stop.
Okay, well, here I'll say something. This upcoming, I think Wednesday, we're getting the Tom Holland movie on Netflix, and I think majority of us here will probably end up watching it. Probably. I
I'm
mean, I know.
looking forward to it, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. The trailer was very ambiguous. It didn't really give you much. I have no idea what the fuck's going on. I'm excited to just cop right into it. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm not necessarily looking forward to it, but I'll probably watch it. I mean, I
Yes.
guess I'm just like not as excited as you guys are. I mean,
Well, I want a new movie, and it seems pretty interesting. So
Yeah.
sure,
It looks-
no,
looks
I mean,
good.
it seems interesting enough. I'm honestly not sure if it seems good.
watch
enough,
it be the best
but
movie of the year and surprise you.
definitely.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
never
it's
know.
always possible.
It is. It is. Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? The random Bloomhouse, or the Bloomhouse
The
project. Or the
Blumhouse.
Blumhouse.
Did you
Who knows?
watch
Have
the
any of us
trailer
watched
for
it yet?
No,
Oh, wait,
I'm,
no, it's not
I
out.
am.
It's not out.
Oh, I know. I am.
Yeah,
You,
who
you
knows?
already
Wait,
know I'm watching
Maybe
that
those
shit.
are masterpieces of horror. And
Wait,
those are
what
the
is
best
it?
films ever made.
I sent it to you,
It's
Colin.
4 new Blumhouse
Yeah.
movies coming out
They're
on
short
Amazon Prime.
films.
Oh,
They're short
okay.
films.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
They're all like
Yeah.
in a bundle. It's like there's one and it has Joey King in it, and her last great horror movie was Wish Upon, which was so fucking awful. I don't wish anyone to watch that movie.
Instead of the kissing booth, it's the killing booth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Got him.
it's So there's that, and then we got the trailer today for oh god, boys, we just talked about it. The Vince Vaughn movie. What's it called?
I don't even remember.
We literally just said it.
I mentioned
I don't
this
think I
on
even
ad on my
knew the
Instagram.
title.
Freaky.
Freaky.
'cause it's
There we go.
Yeah.
It's like Freaky Friday, and it's the same director that did Happy Death Day. And this killer stabs this girl, and they switch bodies, and she has to get back into the body of herself, but she's in the body of the killer, and he's being manhunted because he killed people. So okay, it looks really fucking dumb, sure, but like Happy Death Day was also really stupid, but really enjoyable at the same time. So I'm excited for it because I like both of those movies. Yeah, they're not good, but they're really just fun, stupid horror. And guess what? It works. It works. So I'm excited.
That's honestly kind of a cool premise for it.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm aboard. Like again, this director just seems to like rip off like old like '90s movies and just make them horror. And this time it's Freaky Friday. And sure,
it's not even trying with this one.
No,
Like, he literally
like,
named it Freaky.
Yeah, freaky, literally freaky. Like
I'm
excited.
So I do actually have some pretty damn interesting news. I wonder if you guys
Sure.
heard about this, or if you guys how you guys will just generally react to it. Sebastian, maybe less, since you haven't gotten to Paul Thomas Anderson yet. But Cooper Hoffman, the son of Philip Seymour Hoffman, was actually cast as the lead for PTA's next movie.
I forgot that was this week, and I honestly,
Yeah.
I guess I just
No, I
expected
was
one of you
thinking, I
guys to
knew
bring it
that,
up.
but I thought I mentioned it last week.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, well,
That is-
because
yeah, that's cool.
I really think that like Philip Seymour Hoffman is easily one of the best actors of his generation.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like many people agree with that. It's just gonna be interesting to see if like those creative talents like pass down. And I mean, it was a tragedy, and I mean, I don't think PTA would make this call without being confident about it. So I'm interested to see it.
Talent
Yeah.
runs in the family, man. Look at the Phoenixes.
I mean,
that's just my best example.
well,
I
I
mean,
mean, like the Hanks.
This,
I mean, one of the Hanks is solid, and
Not so
then,
bad.
whew.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely interested.
Same era. The Phoenixes are all really good.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, and I can't think of like a single PTA performance that's like bad, even like
Yeah,
supported ones. So I don't know. Even if he doesn't end up necessarily like breaking out because of this movie or anything, I can't imagine that it'll be like a disappointment per se, you know?
yeah.
I don't know, just
You never
taking a first role and making him the lead of one of like the biggest directors working today. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I trust Paul Thomas Anderson enough.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, cool. Anything else?
Yes.
Don't
Two
mention Hubby
huge-
Halloween.
Okay,
hear it.
I won't. Two huge pieces of news since last week. Number one, honestly surprised none of you mentioned this. Robert Pattinson has been diagnosed with COVID-19.
Oh,
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm
He's
I'm
dude,
forgetting.
I've lost track of time, man. I thought
Yeah,
we
me
mentioned that
too.
last week. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude,
Yeah, I
I'm
wrote it
thinking
down,
that
like, as
ending
soon as it
things
happened.
really fucked me up.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna blame that movie.
We'll get into it,
Yeah.
but yeah. That's best wishes to Pattinson. I am sure he'll be fine. But it does suck that he was the only one on set that fucking had it, and they had to stop filming. So
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess I just like kind of wrote it down like as soon as it happened, and I haven't really followed up. So like, I think like when it first happened, it was just like, yeah, Pattinson was like the main one who was diagnosed, but there might have been like others, or like he might have
Yeah, I haven't
two
heard,
others
though.
since then. But yeah, I mean, neither have I really. I guess this one's kind of on me. And then the other thing, I don't really know if this is like that interesting, but Francis Ford Coppola announced that he is going to be recutting The Godfather
Yeah.
Part 3.
Oh,
And
yeah. Didn't
I
hear
don't know,
about
that does look kind of interesting. I mean, again, like, who knows? I haven't even seen Part 2, let alone Part 3, so I don't really
So
know.
good.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it is, and
Yeah.
I prefer 2 over 1.
I think a lot of people do. I don't know. I mean, I definitely like the first one.
Part 1 is the second highest rated movie on Letterboxd.
Yeah, but
Thank you, Thomas.
yeah, Part 2 is just like it's
You're
so
welcome,
like
Noah.
De Niro is so good in Part 2, but Part 3 I haven't even seen it. I've just seen clips because I don't want to watch it because I've heard it's awful. So I might actually go out and watch that in the theater just because maybe it will actually be good depending on what they do with it, because I've seen a lot
Yeah.
and I really have no interest in watching the whole movie. So
I mean, that's
Yeah.
honestly the only reason I brought it up.
I'm
Just 'cause, like,
interested.
yeah, it looks somewhat interesting. And again, we have like basically no details other than
Yeah.
just, like,
'Cause
the
he did
reasons
a,
or whatever.
Sorry. But he did a recut of Apocalypse Now that came out last year, too.
Oh,
Yeah, they
So kind of
updated
missed
that
that.
too in 4K.
It's called
Right?
the Final Cut. Yeah, it was a 4K remaster, and then it was also a different edit from the theatrical and Redux.
How was it though? Did you see it?
I didn't see it. I heard that the theatrical is still the best version, but
Fair.
4K restoration looked really good.
No, because also speaking of recuts, they're doing a recut. I think of Rocky 3, Rocky 4.
4.
Yeah, it's 4 with the robot. Yeah, so Sylvester Stallone's been talking about that on his Instagram lately, and he's, they're cutting out like a big chunk of the movie, and sure, because I don't know if any of you care about Rocky movies, but like,
Wait, like, what do you mean? Cut? Well, you said something about a robot. I
Yeah.
haven't.
They're cutting the robot
Adrian-
out of
yeah.
Rocky 4.
yeah, Adrian's like a robot in Rocky 4.
What? I didn't.
I'm
Sounds-
serious.
I haven't seen
I'm
it
serious.
or looked anything up about it, but like, I
I'm
do know
serious.
that they're cutting the robot out, whatever that means. So
Yeah, there's a robot of Adrian, his wife, and it's in the movie, and it's really awkward, and they're cutting it out. So I'm actually pretty glad. So
Okay, well, I haven't seen any of the Rocky movies other than some clips from the first one. So
I have seen the first one, but I mean, I'll probably watch Creed because that looks kind of interesting. But I don't know. From what I've heard, the rest of the Rocky movies are less good than the first one, even if they're not necessarily bad.
I
So,
like
yeah.
Rocky 3.
I mean, I don't know.
So is that
Okay.
it for the news?
Yeah.
I think so.
We
Yeah.
kind of stumbled through a news
Incredible.
segment. We were not ready.
Sorry, I did not have anything prepared.
It's a slow week.
Speaking of you're prepared, Collin, go.
Got me on the spot. I was trying to pull off the
Yeah.
frozen cam.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He lagged out.
Yeah, I lagged out. Let's move on to what we watched. Who wants to start it off?
I think
I mean,
Thomas said that.
yeah, I did say Collin, go.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry. I'm thrown off today. It's been
You're good.
the weather is making me.
Yeah.
I'm off my game. Sorry.
It's the weather. It's that darn weather.
The weather, and I think it's also because I kind of had a bad movie week, and need to recover from that. So here we go.
Yeah, we really did.
Yeah. So I started off with a triple feature because I wanted to rewatch Train to Busan before Peninsula came out. And I rewatched Train to Busan, which I used to think was pretty good, a nice unique take on the zombie subgenre. And I realized it's not that good. I mean, it's okay. Performances are fine. I like the concept of a zombie outbreak and people on a moving train as, a central drama going on with the film. So that is kind of cool. And the action sequences are fun enough, but overall, it just wasn't as good as remembered. Taste changed. I mean, last time I saw this was 2017, so it's been 3 years.
Yeah.
And
I really like it though, but I get why you don't like it, or you still like it, but you don't think it's that good. Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Then after that, I watched Soul Station, which is an animated prequel to Train to Busan, and it was god awful, man. I mean, it was
I didn't even know that existed. I'm just gonna be honest. I
Yeah,
thought
me
there was
neither.
only that in Peninsula. I
yeah.
didn't even know.
This was actually released the same year as Train to Busan. It came out like a little
Wow.
while after.
Didn't even know.
I didn't know for the longest time either until I said, okay, I'm gonna watch this for Peninsula. But it's really bad. Animation's okay. The plot sucks and the acting sucks and it's just repetitive and boring. And then I watched Peninsula, which honestly started out really good. I was like, wow, this is arguably better than Train to Busan. And then it derails really quick.
Haha, derails.
Yeah, haha, get it? But there's so much going in the plot. It's so convoluted. The characters are weird and the acting's kind of on and off. Especially, so everyone, there's a subplot going on with like the American army is helping in the getting people off of the Korean Peninsula. And every English-speaking actor in this movie was horrible. So I was just like, oh man, what the heck happened there? But the worst part of this movie by far are the Mad Max like car chases that pop up every once in a while. The production scale is really good, actually. Like in the city and the sets are really good, but then you cut to these car chases, and it's like PlayStation 2 graphics cars careening through literally like hundreds of zombies. You know, we have like a 15-year-old driving this SUV plowing through zombies, and then at the end of it all, you know, I'm talking like doing flips off of bridges and turns at like 150 miles per hour, and the car is like there's no dent at the end, and this happens multiple times throughout the film, and I was just like, this is killing me. It really threw me out, and so Peninsula ended up being pretty bad.
I get a rest in peace for Walking Dead as well. Walking Dead has finally come to an end, so the zombie genre is now officially pretty much fucked. So we can all thank Walking Dead for finally killing itself.
I thought it wasn't ending till like 2023 though.
Nope. They just announced yesterday. I mean, I was going to mention it because it's not movie news, but Walking Dead has officially been killed. It's going to be its last season. This next season is his last.
Huh.
Bye-bye.
I mean, I don't really care, honestly.
Yeah,
But I guess
sure.
it is
I
gonna be
don't
fun.
either. I'm just glad it's done. Dude, I was in middle school when that fucking show started. Middle school, and it's still going on. Like, holy shit.
I mean, things have been
I-
on
I-
for way longer than that.
I just read this, Sebastian. Yeah. Walking Dead set to end in 2022.
Yeah, because of COVID. So
Yeah, it
this
starts
next
in, if it
season-
airs in
yeah.
2021.
Okay, is that its final season then?
Yeah.
Okay. I
That's what I'm saying. COVID's fucked
really
it.
soon.
Yeah, COVID's like fucked the production on it. So they haven't been able to film this next season. So they're just postponing it till like a couple years. So yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
rest in peace.
2022, then a spin-off series is planned for 2023.
Goodbye.
That's-
Okay, well, whatever. I watched the pilot to Walking Dead, and that was it. So, I mean,
You saved yourself the trouble that I went through.
but anyway, Peninsula, kind of bad. Not as bad as Soul Station, but not as good as Train to Busan. The whole trilogy was really disappointing, and I'm disappointed I watched it. So I'll leave it at that. After that, for film school this past week, we watched Born on the 4th of July, which is a biopic about Ron Kovic, who was a paralyzed Vietnam vet, directed by Oliver Stone. And it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Not a blow your mind movie, but it had a really good emotional core and interesting story, so I enjoyed it.
Oliver Stone's
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really seen much from Oliver Stone, but I have a bunch of his films on my watch list, so I'm looking forward to checking out some of his other movies. After that, I rewatched Tenet, which we talked about in our Tenet video. Still good, and I'm going to go see it again sometime soon because I feel like I need to. Continuing on my animated DC marathon that
Let's go.
will never end. I watched Justice League War, which is the follow-up to Flashpoint Paradox, and I thought it was kind of bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
The
How
plot
many of these movies
was
have you liked? Like 4 of them?
there haven't been many, honestly.
Well, it's not that like I don't think Colin hates them. It's just they're not like top tier. There's like
I mean,
there's some
it's just-
really good DC animated movies, and then there's not.
Yeah.
I get that, but you've been on like a marathon for the past like 3 weeks, and you've been like, yeah, most of them are like really god awful. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have it, so I mean, I paid money for it, so I gotta finish them. You know, that's how I see it. I gotta make my way through it, even if some of them are bad. I've liked, I think more than 4 I've liked, but
no,
yeah,
I'm
I would say,
exaggerating.
sure, yeah, I would say that most of them aren't great. This one, the plot was just so lazy and thin and really messy.
Yeah, because
There's
Flashpoint's
nothing
so
to say.
good. Flashpoint's so
Flashpoint
good.
was really
and
good, yeah. This was a really disappointing follow-up. And a lot of things just didn't make sense in here. So, whatever. After that, I watched Speed Racer, which we'll get to later. And then I did a Bill and Ted triple feature. Rewatched Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure, which it's been forever since I saw these first 2. I still like the first one. I don't think it's anything great, but it's a really fun movie. It's funny, you know, the performances are great. It's charming, has a fun plot. It's kind of clever in certain aspects, and it's an enjoyable movie. Rewatching Bogus Journey, however, I really didn't like that one. I honestly didn't remember like half of the movie. Maybe that goes to say something, but it just was really disappointing in a lot of aspects, particularly the finale, which is incredibly rushed. Everything happens within like 5 minutes, and I was like, oh, well, that was anticlimactic.
I don't like Bogus really either.
Yeah, so it was honestly kind of bad. Although the best part of that movie is, without a doubt, Death. The Grim
Yes,
Reaper.
yes.
He's so funny. William Sadler, who plays him, yeah, he's so funny. So if I ever rewatch Bogus Journey, it'll just be because of Death. He's great in that movie. Before I saw Face the Music, though, I did get the opportunity to see the New Mutants, the final entry in the X-Men franchise. And man, Thomas, you dodged a bullet with that one.
Did I?
Yeah,
Glad to hear.
A huge
It-
fucking bullet, dude.
It wasn't good.
Does it have a lower score than Dark Phoenix?
I actually think it has a higher score than the Dark Phoenix.
So do
and
I.
And I would say
by 0.2.
yes, because it technically is a little bit better. I enjoyed myself like the slightest bit, but I was laughing at how bad the movie was. But with Dark Phoenix, I was just bored.
Honestly, I don't know.
There's a pretty funny like image where there was a director in an interview said, yeah, you know, with Dark Phoenix, we can't really go anywhere downhill from there, so I think we'll be fine. And then it was a picture of the Rotten Tomatoes score, and the score for New Mutants is actually lower there than Dark Phoenix.
Oh, really? Honestly, I think
Yeah.
of course, it's been over a year, but I think I preferred Dark Phoenix. New Mutants was just like bad. It was just really bad. Like, obviously, Dark Phoenix wasn't good either, but New Mutants there was nothing going on in this movie. Like, nothing happened at all. And
I mean, I haven't seen New Mutants, but like Dark Phoenix is just kind of like inoffensive, I guess. It's not even like offensive as like the end of a like saga or anything. It's just kind of there, and you can watch it. And there are some moments where you're like, oh, that's nice, but then you like immediately forget about it.
yeah, exactly.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Like the train fight, like that's like
Yeah.
the only thing I remember from the movie. And then
I don't
after
remember
that,
much of anything, yeah.
Oh well.
But yeah, New Mutants, not good. That's the verdict. Although, you know, I saw Chris Duckman's review, and he was like, yeah, it's not too bad, it's all right. And I was like, what? It kind of blew my mind that he kind of enjoyed it.
He gave it a C- or
C
something.
plus, I think.
I think
he gave it a C plus.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know, it's
hey,
actually
wait until we
decent.
get to this week's movie.
Yeah, exactly. And then today I watched Bill and Ted Face the Music, and honestly, this is probably the most disappointing movie of the year for me. I absolutely hated it. It was just pure cringe from start to finish. I did not like, honestly, anything about it. Death was in it for a little bit, which was kind of cool. There were a couple, I think I maybe laughed 3 times.
How
It's
dare
just-
you? How dare you disrespect Kid Cudi?
No. He was so bad in this movie. I mean, everyone was bad. Like, Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter weren't even good. And then whoever played their daughters were really bad. They were trying way too hard, I thought, to mimic the energy performances of Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter. But I just, it was long and boring and not funny and cringy and really messy. And it looked bad. So I didn't like it.
Well,
But I'll
we'll
keep
see once they get around to it because I'm still waiting on my family to rent it.
Yeah.
I ain't paying for it.
Yeah,
And,
$20 is a lot.
Yeah. And with that, it was also kind of funny because the theater I was at for this, my friend and I who saw it, we were the only people, like, I think in literally the entire theater. And then another, two other people came in right before the movie started. But
Did they enjoy it?
I don't know. They left before the credits started. So like right when the movie ended, they upped and left.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
So
that was
excited.
how my week went.
But did you see the post-credit scene?
I did, yeah, because the waitress told us. She's like, "There's a post-credit scene," and we were like, "Oh, okay."
Is there
Cool.
actually?
Yeah, there's.
Yeah.
I don't think I did.
Can you just
I don't remember.
Can you just tell me what does it
Yeah,
set up a
they-
sequel?
No, it's over. They just play guitar together.
Oh.
Well, I mean,
Right.
there's a bit more than that, but like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I mean, it doesn't really matter that much. It's
Yeah.
not like a post-credit scene that.
yeah, it's not like Thanos is like, Earth go bye.
Okay.
No.
Great, Thomas.
Yeah,
Thanks,
that was
no.
it. That was it. Had a sad, disappointing movie week. Need some time to recover.
You'll need some time
Restart.
to recover.
So me and Colin both had a pretty bad movie week, but I think I watched a little bit better movies. Kind of. We'll get into it. So I watched Smiley, the 2012 epic from Shane Dawson, the YouTube phenomenon, and it has not aged well at all. I saw Elvis the Aliens video on it, and I was like, I really got to watch this because as a kid I remember being excited to watch it. I never actually did watch it because I didn't want to fucking pay for it. But it's on YouTube for free now. You can literally just watch it on YouTube for free. So I was like,
Oh.
Great.
fuck it. It's an hour and 30 minutes. Why not? It was awful. It was really, really bad. There's a lot they call Shane Dawson a pedophile, his character in the movie. That's what I mean by it hasn't aged well, which is kind of funny.
Pretty funny.
Yeah, stuff like that, and then really outdated jokes. The fucking killer Smiley. You summon him by saying, "I did it for the lulz." That's how you summon him.
God, you gotta love
Yeah,
jokes
I do
like
remember
that.
Does it have to
Jokes
be
like
in
that
the dark
just
or in front of
Don't
the
age well.
Well, it has to. It's
Or
like in a
just-
fake. It's a fake Omegle thing. So you have to be on this website. And you do it for the lulz, and whoever you're on with Omegle gets killed, and it's really stupid and it's really bad.
Nice.
And then the end of the movie, you find out that everyone was tormenting this girl that the main character of the movie is, and it was all a joke. But it doesn't make any
But then,
sense
he's
because
real, and
he's real.
It's like there's two twists.
yeah,
That's like the only thing I
yeah,
know.
it's fucking so stupid. So
But
anyway,
you've watched it, Noah?
No, I said that's the only thing I know about it.
Oh, you know. Okay,
Anyway.
okay.
really bad. I don't recommend anyone to watch it ever in their life. On to the next movie. I watched Zack and Miri Make a Porno. This is one of the Kevin Smith movies I hadn't watched, and it was pretty funny. I had a good time watching it. Again, I know if probably everyone here watched it, you'd all probably hate it. That's just the truth. It's a Kevin Smith movie with Seth Rogen, and it's pretty funny. It's young,
That sounds
you know,
right now.
yeah, exactly. It's 2000 Seth Rogen and Kevin Smith script, and it's fine. It's not a masterpiece. I had a good time watching it. I thought it had a lot of funny parts, and I can't complain. It was a good watch, and I think it's a little underrated. I haven't really heard many people talk about it, but it's kind of a hidden gem. I'm not gonna lie. Then I watched Amadeus with my mom, and it was fucking amazing. It's like the best biopic I think I've ever seen. And I definitely think it is a masterpiece. Definitely like 100 out of 100. The acting in it is phenomenal. The score is great. The cinematography, everything about it is beautiful. The set pieces, the story of Amadeus is just it's insane. It really is. It goes through his whole life. It's like 3.5 hours, and it really is fascinating. And I really wouldn't think I'd think it would be that good because my mom wouldn't shut the fuck up as a kid to me about it. Because she'd literally go around the house going, Wolfie, Wolfie, which is like when he's like a younger kid in the movie. That's what he was called, Wolfgang, whatever. So, I didn't think it would be good. And it actually turned out to be just absolutely amazing. And I was actually kind of impressed with my mom there. I mean, me and her like a lot of the same movies, but like I don't know. I just thought a movie about Amadeus would be kind of boring, but it definitely was not. So I was proven wrong once again. So highly recommend it. It is amazing film. Then I watched I'm Thinking of Ending Things, and I'm sure me, Noah, and Thomas will touch upon it, but I don't want to spoil it because Colin plans on watching it. So I will roughly say that I thought I was really confused, and then I got to the ending of the movie, and I was just like, oh, that's basically the best way I can describe the movie.
Just
It's
so sad.
it's a very confusing watch, and then once you get to the end, you're just like, oh, I think I get it, and I did. I'm pretty sure it's one of those deep movies that Kaufman likes to do in his sad, depressing manner, and
Yeah.
it's I thought it was good. It's definitely not my favorite of his, but I think it's definitely one of his best. I still think Eternal Sunshine is my favorite, and I put this probably at a second or a third. I really did like it. I thought the acting was great. I thought the fucking cinematography was gorgeous, absolutely fucking gorgeous in certain scenes. And I thought his use of just I think it was a 4:3 aspect ratio. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's 4:3.
Seems right, yeah.
Yeah, it worked so well with the tone of the movie. And the acting from, I'm just going to call him Todd from Breaking Bad because I can't remember his name right now. But Todd,
Jesse Plemons.
Jesse Plemons, yeah.
yeah, he's really good. He always is good in everything I've seen him in. He's a really underrated actor, and I love seeing him in movies. And I thought he did a great job. Main actress lady, again, don't know her name, but
Jessie Buckley.
I haven't seen her in anything before, and she did a really good job. And fun fact, that was supposed to be that character was supposed to be our favorite Brie Larson was supposed to be the character. Yes, she was supposed to play that character, and then she dropped out of the project. And I can't even imagine the movie with Brie Larson because it probably would have been awful. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm not just saying that because I hate
It
her.
would have been like a very different movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes,
Like
like
Noah,
the-
you
yeah,
like
yeah.
Brie Larson too, but I feel like you can even agree that just
She would have been
seems
bad,
like a miscast.
in-
It would have been a miscast. That's what I
but
think.
like this is different from the book in like at least like tonally, not necessarily in terms of plot. For me,
I haven't read the book, but
Yeah,
like
me neither.
I just think if she was in the movie, it would have been a totally
If you-
different film.
Yeah, if you rip Jessie Buckley out and put Brie Larson in, then that like with the movie that we have, that's just like that's bizarre. But
Yeah, but
I
anyway,
imagine it would have been a different movie.
yeah, I thought she did a great job, and it really her acting was really subtle, and I really liked that. It wasn't too over the top. It gave me a lot of room to think about who she was and her character. Very good. On to the next film. I watched Feels Good Man, and it is definitely my film of the year. I absolutely fucking loved it. Honestly, I was close to crying a couple times. It really kind of hit me in the feels. It's about Pepe the Frog and the creator Matt Fury and his whole epic story of how he made Pepe and where Pepe is today, and all of the political drama with Pepe and all the 4chan things that have happened with Pepe and all the politicism, all that. It is quite fascinating. I cannot lie, and I couldn't help but at the end of the movie feel really fucking bad for him because all he was trying to do was make this really innocent comic, and this fucking frog became a sensation on the internet. And it was just fascinating seeing all these. There's literally, I can't even make those up. There's this scene with literal 4chaners on 4chan, and they're talking about their Pepe folders on their computer. And I couldn't think of myself there because I have 2,000 Pepes on my computer. And, it was kind of surreal seeing that in a movie, seeing like internet culture encapsulated in a movie, because I have, like, sure, there's been attempts to it, but this is a documentary. So even just seeing it on screen to me is just funny as fuck because like it's just something that has been explored really in film, and it was just nice seeing the cringe of the internet culture in the film. So I highly recommend it. I absolutely fucking loved it. There's some gorgeous animations with Pepe throughout the movie that are just wonderful, and I fucking loved this movie. So Feels Good Man really made me feel good, man. So on to the next one. I watched Dazed and Confused with Matthew McConaughey, and I had seen this movie before, but I haven't seen it in quite a long time, and it was great. I absolutely loved it. It was just a good, laid-back, chill movie. I have nothing really else to say. Matthew McConaughey, great in everything he's in, and it's pretty evident from this movie why he got so big, because he's just such a great actor. He has so much, he's just so charismatic, and he's just so chill, and it's just, I love him. He's great. I watched New Mutants with Colin, and Colin already said it's a god fucking awful. It's just really boring. I gave it a lower score than Colin did, and I was just bored. The acting is awful. The effects are fucking outdated and atrocious. it just seems like no one gave a fuck about the source material or anything going on in the movie. And fun fact, I didn't tell you this last night, Colin, but the creator of New Mutants, they spelled his name wrong in the credits of the movie, and he went on Twitter and was really pissed. And this movie's been shelved like for what, 3 years now, and they couldn't even get the fucking creator of the comic right in the movie. So
Dang. That's actually horrible.
That's pretty crazy.
Pretty funny.
Good on Fox X-Men. I'm glad it's fucking over with because they clearly just stopped caring after like Days of Future Past and Logan. They just fuck it, whatever. We're done with X-Men.
It's even crazy that this just came out.
Yes, I honestly, even seeing it, my theory from before should have stayed. I really think they should have shoved it on Disney Plus because this movie is fucking awful and it doesn't deserve anyone's money. It should have been right to streaming.
I think I literally saw that they had like a contract that like it couldn't go straight to streaming. Like it had to have a theatrical release of some sort.
Yeah,
so,
which is exactly the truth. Reason. But you know, I really think that would have been the smarter move to break the contract and shove it on streaming because it is hideous. It is awful. There is literally some of the worst line delivery I've heard in a fucking feature film in forever. Literally, I'm gonna reenact one scene for you guys real quick. I'm gonna set the scene. There's a giant spirit bear, and it's terrorizing everybody. And the main character is responsible for this huge, giant, man-eating spirit bear. And she's Native American. So the bear, she's like, "Hey," and the bear turns around and she goes, "No." And then she goes, "Stop." And she says it exactly like that. And the line delivered there, I started bawling out laughing. It was bad. And
Nut Up was my favorite line of the movie. There's a scene where like one guy is in trouble, and then this one guy, his power is whenever he gets mad or like his blood pressure goes up, he like catches on fire. And so this one guy says, "Dude, nut up." And I couldn't even believe
then that character, the same character that turns on fire, the whole movie he was just there to make sexual jokes and innuendos towards other characters, and it felt really awkward and cringy because he's trying to hit on this one girl the whole entire movie, and I just couldn't help but cringe. It just was that is literally the whole purpose of his character. He was there to make sexual innuendos and be cringe. And it was just awful. So fuck New Mutants, fuck Foxman X-Men. I'm done. I don't ever want to fucking see anything come out of that. I'm glad Marvel has the rights now because Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, man. So I'm glad the nightmare is over and New Mutants is finally out, and I've seen it. It was bad. So anyway, I'm moving on. And that was it. I saw Speed Racer, and, we'll touch upon that later. On to the next person.
All right. So... yeah, I'll go next, obviously. Start the week off with Bill and Ted Face the Music, which honestly, like, I thought was fine. I don't think it works comedically at all. I kind of agree with Collin. Like, I didn't really laugh that much, even though there was some stuff that was, like, moderately funny. I think the main thing that I want to say is, like, I think Samara Weaving and the other whoever were actually pretty good, but it kind of, like, almost stands out a little too much, and maybe not even like pretty good, but they are kind of like doing something that would almost be funny in like a different movie, and I kind of just wanted to like watch their movie and not so much Aaron Reeves and Alex.
Maybe it was because it felt so much like they were trying to
do,
exactly. Yeah, that it just didn't work for me at all. Yeah,
that kind of, and like it didn't fully work for me either. I just kind of like, I don't know, like they're in like the first scene and I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. And then it doesn't really, like it definitely goes somewhere. It's just like there's a lot more focus on Reeves and Winter, who are fine, but honestly not great. I still liked it, I guess. Like I'm glad it got made. I don't know, but I didn't love it. Watched Boys State because I realized I had Apple TV. Because I still have like a family account. And one of my parents really signed up for it a couple of months ago, and yeah, it is really good. Just like there's not really a lot to say that isn't like obvious. Like obviously, it shows the polarization that we're currently living in, and then obviously it's about like masculinity and how that affects or like displays itself in politics. But it does also like, and this is like very minor, but it also ends up showing like a lot of sort of internet culture, especially for people who are under the age of 25, and like realistically without doing something like Smiley, which is just not realistic at all. But like, it's a fairly minor plot point in the movie, but there are a few meme pages that go up over the course of the election, I guess. And I just thought they did a very good job integrating that and not really like judging it one way or the other, but kind of, and I mean, this is true of like everything in the movie, but there isn't any narration other than from the participants themselves. So there isn't really any outside influence except for just like the cameras being there. Overall, I'd say check it out if you have Apple TV Plus. Not really worth signing up for Apple TV for, but if you have it, might as well. Watched I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which I like a lot. Not really a lot to say there. I mean, Collin, honestly, you're gonna fucking hate this movie. Like,
that's what Thomas told me, and I was like, that's why I was hesitant in just watching it when it initially came out. But I was like, I'll probably watch it sometime, though I'm not.
Oh no, I think he might. I think he might like it better than Anomalisa, but I feel like he's still not gonna like it.
But that's a fairly low bar. I mean, that's your least favorite Hoffman, right? Anomalisa.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same as Mace, from what I've seen as well.
Yeah, exactly. But it is like, well, whatever. I won't really talk about it. I mean, agree. I think everybody was good in it. I mean, it's 4 leads, obviously. And I guess that other lead, but he doesn't really do a lot of acting.
Yeah.
He's kind of looking and doing stuff. Laughed at the Zemeckis joke really hard. Thought that was funny.
It was pretty funny.
Good job, Charlie Kaufman.
Hey.
Watched The Artist on Netflix.
Oh, is it on
Like,
Netflix?
Yeah, it is. It's been on Netflix for a while. Like, I was going to watch it a couple of months ago, and then I was like, nah. And that's kind of the takeaway I got from the movie. I don't know. I mean, it feels more like a pastiche than an actual movie, which isn't necessarily a bad thing for me. I mean, I kind of like don't really have a comment on this movie, I guess. Like, I don't really have anything to criticize or praise about it. I don't know. I thought it was fine.
It was just fine.
I really love it. I really like it, but Noah and I are pretty opposite when it comes to most movies.
I mean, yeah, but again, I don't like hate it or anything.
Sure.
I mostly found it. I mean, I didn't find it that weird that it won Best Picture because it checks a lot of the boxes that normally go into that thing.
Oh.
I mean, I'd heard it's one of the more like supposedly forgettable Best Pictures. I mean, again, I think Collin would disagree, but and then I watched Tinker Sailor Soldier Spy, which is really good. Reminded me a lot of Bridge of Spies. I mean, obviously they're kind of in a similar vein. A lot of character actors, super Cold War, very slow paced. About like betrayal and loyalty and all that. I think honestly, I might like it more on a rewatch because it's just like really incomprehensible on the first watch, just because there's like a lot of moving pieces and you don't always know who's lying. And also like when it comes to spy movies, like actual spy movies, not like Mission Impossible, where you don't really have to keep track of motivations, but like, more advanced movies, I kind of tend to not like put all that much brain power into focusing on the plot the first time.
Sure.
Because like that's not really like what I'm looking for necessarily, and I'll probably just end up being more frustrated that I tried to pay so much attention and still only understood like 60% of it or whatever. And if I just like understand basically none of it. And I didn't understand like none of it. I just like couldn't necessarily like recount the plot per se very well. But like I said, I still liked it a lot. One of the better movies I saw this week. Probably end up revisiting it soon. Watched How Do You Know, which is god awful. Like I knew it was going to be god awful before I watched it. Paul Rudd, Reese Witherspoon, Jack Nicholson in his last performance, probably ever. But I mean, it's always possible he could come back for something. But that was 10 years ago now. So seems
is that why you watched it?
I mean, yes and no. Like honestly, I watched it mostly for Reese Witherspoon, who I thought had like the best chance of being good, and it is by James L. Brooks, who I have like a not great track record with. Like I don't fully love any of his movies, but I like the ones that I've seen, I guess, except for Spanglish. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. Jack Nicholson, not in a lot of it. He's like Jack Nicholson, but I wouldn't even say he's good necessarily. He's just kind of like in that Nicholson mode where he's being Nicholson, and it's like, right, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know though.
Yeah, he really didn't end off strong though.
No, but I mean, I wouldn't say it's like an embarrassing performance or anything. You know, it's not like, oh god, this was his last movie. I mean, it is like a really bad movie, don't get me wrong, but it's not like Nicholson is the worst part or like he's embarrassingly bad or anything.
I think
And
his
honestly,
last good performance was The Departed, if I'm wrong, right?
probably there might be something else in there, but yeah, I don't know. Departed was probably his last like great performance.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? How do you know? Oh yeah, like I don't think anybody's really bad in it. Honestly, I just think it's like it's so uninteresting and just like the most bland romantic comedy I've ever seen. So don't recommend that. And then I watched Set It Off, F. Gary Gray's, I think, second feature film, which is, it's definitely good. It's a good heist movie. I think the one thing that turned me off a little bit from it is it is like very dark and like it sort of incorporates a lot, like the experience of being a woman and being black and being a black woman better than a lot of movies I've seen. And that's like, you know, it seems very awful because like they have to live, like there are four main characters and they all have to live with like completely different but completely like awful traumas and they just get worse throughout the movie. And it's not a fun watch. Well, but I mean, it is a heist, so it's like kind of a fun watch and you're kind of going in expecting something fun.
Yeah.
But then it's like, you know, a lot of bad things happen. And I mean, like, I liked it, but I guess I didn't necessarily love it as much as I was expecting to. But that's fine. Watched Romancing the Stone.
I fucking love that
Honestly,
movie.
Yeah, not really. Well, I guess there is. The main thing I want to say about that movie is I think the female lead is like actually a character, which tends to not happen for a lot of like 80s adventure movies, like especially Indiana Jones, which this is the most similar to, where the female characters are just like not characters at all. And even in things like Ghostbusters, like the female characters are like sort of there, but not really. And this one, it's like the female character is like definitely the lead, and she is like the most interesting and fleshed out character. And that ended up really surprising me. And I mean, it's good for reasons other than that. Again, it's like really similar to Indiana Jones in a lot of ways, which I mean wasn't surprising necessarily. So I'd recommend it. It's pretty good. Never Rarely, Sometimes, Always. Are any of you planning on watching that? Because honestly, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I actually have been seeing a lot of people log it recently. Never Really, Sometimes, Always. It's like an indie hit that's come out in 2020.
Yeah,
I've heard it's good. I just don't really have any interest in watching it.
sure. That makes
Where
sense.
did you see it?
I rented it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's on anything. Yeah, I mean, it's good. I feel like I was going to compare it to something, but now I don't really remember. It's, again, very good at, like, showing how, like, imposed upon, specifically, like, the main woman who needs to, I mean, spoilers, I guess, but get an abortion, how, like, imposed upon she is by, like, everyone around her, except for, like, her cousin, who's the co-lead of the movie. And even her cousin, like, doesn't fully understand her. It's like your typical indie setup of like one very quiet, reserved person and one very outgoing, ambitious person, and you know that's like every indie movie ever. But so yeah, I mean, it's good, I guess. I feel like there was something else I was gonna say. Not a lot of dialogue. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, I lost it obviously. So I'd recommend it though. Definitely one of the better movies I've seen this year. She's Gotta Have It, which is, I didn't actually realize this before going in, but it is Spike Lee's like basically debut. He had a student film beforehand, which I think is like a barbershop movie. I mean, like Barbershop the franchise. I know it has like a barbershop in it, but I think it is part of the Barbershop franchise. I might be wrong about that. I honestly don't really know anything about the Barbershop franchise, but anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah, She's Gotta Have It. It's good. It was in black and white, which I didn't realize, except for like one vital scene. Yeah.
How did you not realize it was in black and white?
How did I not realize? Because I didn't watch it. But what do you mean?
Oh, like when he said that, and then he said except in one vital scene, I was like, so you're halfway into the movie, you just thought, wait a minute.
I mean, like, Francis Ha, I went in like with the intention of like, oh, this is like a black and white movie, and it's by that Noah Baumbach guy who I liked Marriage Story. So like a lot of black and white, and the artist too. Like I went in that knowing it was a black and white movie.
Yeah. I see what you're saying now. I just.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Just
you like
just-
a movie, watching it halfway through. Oh my god, this is black and white. Whoa!
Well, no,
I thought I
mentioned-
just lost color.
You just mentioned like except one specific scene, so I was like, wait, so that one scene you realized?
No, that's pretty funny though. So I guess it's kind of like Sex, Lies, and Videotape in a way, in that it's a debut and it's focused on like basically 4 characters, and it's about like romantic entanglements. And again, like it's just an indie, like very short movie about romantic entanglements. And if you like that sort of thing, you'll probably like She's Gotta Have It, at least somewhat. Definitely didn't. I mean, like I knew it was one of his earlier movies, but I guess so is Do the Right Thing, and neither of them really feel like debuts or like early movies, at least to me. I mean, there is definitely like a difference between those movies and like his later movies, but I don't know. It just didn't really feel like sloppy in the way that a lot of debuts normally do. Oh boy. Okay, this is when I started getting into the like area. So I watched Atonement, which is directed by the same person who directed Anna Karenina, which I did talk about, and also Pride and Prejudice, which I haven't seen yet. So Atonement is a tragedy, apparently, which I did not realize before watching it, and in like the Shakespearean sense of the word tragedy. It's not like like a bad movie or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's like I was going in expecting something like Pride and Prejudice or like Emma or whatever, something like set in the past that's like about like longing and lust and how people dealt with those feelings when they weren't really allowed to express them, particularly women. And like it sort of starts out like that, but then it just gets like, I'm not even sure that I would say it gets really dark. I just like wasn't expecting it to get dark.
Yeah.
So like when it got dark, I was like, whoa, this is like total whiplash for me. And so that kind of like, I don't know. The thing I was about to say is like it ruined my night, which I don't think it really did. I don't know. It was, and I do think it's good and worth watching. I don't know. I don't even mean to be derogatory about it. This was just one of the like weirder movie viewing
It was
experiences.
just a surprise for you.
Do you plan on like rewatching it, revisiting?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. Just not,
Be in the right
that
mindset.
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I tend to go longer between rewatches of movies unless I like really, really like them.
Yeah.
So yeah. The Meyerowitz stories, which I like. Honestly, not a lot to say on that one. I feel like everybody's watched it by now, and it's like I don't think anybody thinks it's Swanbach's best or his worst. So I thought it was good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay, and I didn't log this because it's not a movie, but another thing that like, okay, whatever. So fun story time. I was planning after Meyerowitz stories on watching She Dies Tomorrow, the new movie about a woman who believes she will die tomorrow. But then like it was like, I don't know, it was like a weird time. So I was like, well, I'll just wait another like hour to do so. And then in the meantime, I'll watch Russian Doll, that Netflix series that came out like last year and everybody's been talking about. And then that also really like ended up kind of like fucking me up in like a weird way. And I was like, oh God. And it's like, I mean, I haven't seen She Dies Tomorrow yet, but it is like more thematically similar than I was expecting, I guess. And so after Russian Doll, I was like, I don't think I want to watch She Dies Tomorrow anymore. But I will watch it soon. And that was like yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday that I watched that. So I don't know, still kind of like recovering from like a just weird mental state. Then I watched Speed Racer. So yeah. Well.
All right. So I'll just lie these together because I also watched Bogus Journey and Face the Music. And I was thinking that I legitimately think that Excellent Adventure is like a really good movie. Like, I think it's incredibly funny, and it's just it kind of like defined like the style of comedy like that and Monty Python in specific. Just growing up watching those all the time, but I think that's like a good, borderline great movie. Bogus Journey and Face the Music are like bad movies, but they're just still incredibly enjoyable to me. Like Collin like downright hated Face the Music, but like there were still just so many moments in that where I was like, it got good laughs out of me. Like the prison scene, I actually really liked. I'm forgetting the name, something even though he repeated it 20 million times. Dennis Caleb McCoy.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
I hated him.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I didn't really like him.
Oh man, I thought it was really funny. Also, because he's actually
Oh.
portrayed by Anthony Carrigan, who's someone I like a lot. Because
Yeah, no, I like Anthony Carrigan.
have you seen Barry?
I've not seen Barry, but I have seen some
Gotham?
of Gotham.
Yeah. He's the best part of Gotham, and honestly, if you ever watch Barry, he's fantastic in that too.
It's definitely, again, like vaguely on my list.
I don't know,
Dennis Caleb McCoy. I absolutely freaking hated that guy.
but that's what made him so funny. Everyone hated him.
No, it was like thinking about it now because of how much he annoyed me. I guess it's kind of funny, but in the moment of watching the movie, I could not stand him. I was like, every scene with him, I wanted to kill myself.
Oh no, I thought it was funny. And I mean, I definitely agree, like one of the big points in this is that Keanu Reeves has grown so much away from just being Ted, right? Because like he went from he's the start in Bill and Ted to then doing like My Own Private Idaho, and then like Speed and The Matrix, and then like just jump fast forward to like how am I slipping on names? John Wick, right? And like he's gone so far from doing all that. It's so hard for him to go back to stoner comedy kid.
Yeah.
But you know, I still really enjoyed it. I don't think it was a waste of time for me personally.
No, me neither. Anyway, I disagree that Bogus Journey is a bad movie. But
yeah.
Okay, continue.
And then I was actually waiting till midnight because I was gonna watch I'm Thinking of Anything's like the second it came out, and then it hit midnight, and then it wasn't there, and then it was 1 and it wasn't there, and I was so utterly disappointed.
So I actually did that a few months ago for The Five Bloods, and then
oh really?
Like yeah, I'm not even sure if I was like waiting for it. I think I just like checked after midnight, and then I looked it up, and everything on Netflix releases at 3 a.m. Eastern time because it's midnight Pacific time.
Oh, that's annoying. Oh,
which I think is like because of pirating or something, because I don't think Netflix is like based in California or anything. I'm not really sure why, honestly. But
and then so because I was disappointed, I still wanted to watch a movie. I ended up watching Wildlife, which was good. Yeah. I mean, for it being Dano's like directorial debut, especially his directorial, he crafts like really, really good shots here.
Yeah.
But specifically his it was like his first like screenplay too. And I mean, well, no, that's actually where most of the issues come with it. I don't think the screenplay is that great. I think there's a lot of like characters that just feel unnecessary, that they could have been like fleshed out in points. A lot of kind of awkward transitions between in like the characters' development, specifically in Carey Mulligan's, where like she felt so abruptly kind of aggressive. But I guess that's me. I'm looking forward to see.
I saw it more as like she was kind of repressing everything that she was feeling until like Jacob Gyllenhaal left, and then it was just kind of like she just kind of realized, like without necessarily thinking about it, like, oh, I can just kind of like do whatever now, and like nobody will know except for my son, and then that's kind of like the movie.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know. I'm definitely interested to see if Dano does more directorials. Because I don't know, I love Paul Dano. I think that he's one of the best actors working today, and he's a treasure. He's a star. And then I watched I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which I thought was fantastic. I mean, I don't know. I love Kaufman too much to not have liked it, but it's almost even more so in Synecdoche. It does such a great job at like the idea of subjectivity, because he's so good at like just adding subjectivity into his films. Like, I don't think that there's a set meaning or a set theme behind it. It's really what you can derive from it. That's why like I keep seeing all these like, oh, I'm Thinking of Ending Things Explained videos like popping up everywhere. And it's like, no, you might get it for you, but you like let someone else get what
Oh
they
yeah, I
think
have
in
my
fun.
idea of what I
Mhm.
think of it. So
I feel like even like if you could say the theme of the movie is anything, like the theme of the movie is like that there is like no theme,
Yeah.
or that the theme is like infinite, or I don't know. I mean, I guess I
Yeah.
can talk about it.
It's definitely a trip. It's kind of impressive how probably two of my favorite releases of 2020 are just some of the most confusing shit ever in Tenet. And I'm thinking of ending things like, oh man. But
yeah,
2020 is
I
gonna,
wouldn't say that it's confusing thinking of ending things. It's just like you said, it's just kind of whatever you get out of it.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely a trip, and I definitely
Yeah,
enjoyed it, and I am definitely going to rewatch it probably soon. And then a little special shout out before we start talking about Speed Racer. I also watched the Scooby Doo Project, which is a riff on the Blair Witch Project with the Scooby Doo characters. And it's pretty stupid, but the funny thing about this is that Cartoon Network aired this on Halloween, but they could only air it once because it actually scared kids too much. Because the gang literally dies in this. Like they're confirmed dead. Mind you, they aired this in a What's New Scooby Doo marathon.
That's awesome. I really want to see this now.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
me
I'll
funny.
probably watch that after this. I thought it was like a student film, judging by your letterbox review. I didn't know it was like a legit thing.
No, yeah, it was made by Cartoon Network.
I did not know that.
It's pretty funny, but it's oddly like realistic and like the whole gang's reactions to it. It's
That's awesome. I was under the impression it was a fan made.
oh,
Me too. That's what I thought it was.
No, and then oh man, there's a scene where Shaggy really imitates the famous scene from the Blair Witch where he stands in the corner. Oh, it's pretty funny. It's pretty good. All right, and then we'll get on talking about Speed Racer here in a second.
Speed Racer. Here we go.
Yeah.
Not Speed Racer. Thomas.
Yeah, Speed Racer.
Speed Racer, yeah.
Speed Racer.
Oh, Speed
Racer.
Racer.
Go.
Yeah, hit the gas.
Go
Let's
Speed
go,
Racer.
Speed Racer. All right.
All right. And that's going to wrap up the Post Pro podcast.
Yeah.
See you guys next week.
We don't even have another pick lined up yet.
Nope. That's it.
We won't see you guys next week.
This is the last
This is the end
episode.
of the podcast. We're really going out on a bang here. But
Speed.
I want to end
Yeah.
the podcast after this movie.
bro.
Gee.
All right. So I chose this because it was something that was like I really liked as a child. And I'm sure it was like a level of nostalgia to it. But I really liked the show as well as the movie. It was something I was interested in rewatching, especially because there was a lot of buzz about it. Like just seeing some like the scenes from the races again. It's kind of crazy. And I guess the main thing I'd want to mention about this is that when we were talking about Big Fish, I mentioned how a kid's movie, because I talked about Big Fish, to me just still felt like a kid's movie, how a kid's movie can still be like for both adults and children, and that a lot of modern kids filmmaking, it just feels like it's segregating it, where like the parents just go and they hate it. And this felt like it was just fully letting itself be fun, right? And it's kind of the opposite of how Paddington 2 or Big Fish to me is like a kid's movie that still can be enjoyed by like the whole family.
Up.
But well, yeah, Pixar is also
Yeah.
a good example of those.
Yeah.
But this was just fun, right? And I think that, yes, I agree with Sebastian and Collin, where the acting's pretty bad, even the script's pretty bad. It's just enjoyable. I just don't stop smiling while watching it.
Yeah, I get like I was going through the reviews on Letterboxd. There's a fuck ton of people that gave this 5 stars, but I mean, sure. I mean that's cool if you think it's a masterpiece of filmmaking, by all means. Yeah, but I can't. I can see like why people like this movie. It's just not for me. I mean, it's just simply put it. I enjoyed the races. They were really cool, very vibrant. I mean, the style is very cool. It's just it didn't work in some scenes. Some scenes I felt like I was like on a fucking acid trip or something. Like there's just scenes where there's just color to be color, and I'm like, what is going on here? Like my dad loves Speed Racer, and I read the original manga with my dad. and I didn't read it with him, but he gave them to me, and I do love the original manga. And I did see this movie. I just, I haven't remembered it literally until this was the pick out of fucking nowhere. I didn't expect it to be the pick, but by all means, here we are. And now I'm watching Speed Racer, and it has its moments, but overall, to me personally, it just wasn't for me. I just thought there was too many colors at some parts. I thought the fucking acting was awful. I love John Goodman. It was nice to see John Goodman. Anything with John Goodman. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Nice.
Anything with John Goodman, I mean, I just love him. He's one of my favorite actors ever, John Goodman. So when I saw John Goodman pop up, I was like, hey, John Goodman! I was so excited, dude. Oh, I'm serious.
That has to be a record for the That's be a record for the most amount of time someone said John Goodman in 2 minutes.
Because I love John
Jesus
Goodman.
Christ.
I absolutely love John Goodman.
I know. I mean, like 2008, right? I mean, I think he should have won Best Supporting Actor, right? I mean, there's no major competition that I can think of.
I'd have to agree. I think he deserved it. I think he was the only thing I enjoyed about the movie.
You think he deserved Best Supporting Actor in 2008?
100%.
Over Heath Ledger?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't tell who got who right there.
Yeah.
I'd have to get it to John Goodman.
That was kind of like a trick, but I mean, whatever. I don't know. I mean, it's not like John Goodman would have ever won the Oscar for fucking Speed Racer in 2000.
Yeah,
I don't think this is an Oscar performance.
No, but yeah, no. So it's an okay movie. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I enjoyed myself a little bit. I don't regret not watching it. It was just some parts just overwhelmed me, and I like the style. I enjoyed myself, and it just wasn't for me. But I can see why Thomas loves it.
See, like about the acting, right?
It's supposed to be bad.
No. I don't think it's supposed to be bad, but just supposed to be like campy and kind of quirky. Because I don't think John Goodman is doing anything else that's like really different from any of the other actors. I don't think he's like a really stand-up performance here.
Oh, I sure, but again, I just love John Goodman. So
he definitely has the best moment in the movie when he
my
zooms
God.
in on his wrestling ring.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, it's.
Okay,
It's
I don't
like
think that's
so
the best
good.
moment in the movie.
I think that's the best moment in the movie.
I would agree.
It's just
I would
incredible. Oh my God.
But yeah, all I have to say about it from me. So
Yeah, John Goodman.
John Goodman. That's
John
really it for
Goodman.
me. Like again, he's honestly just an internal being.
All
Me
right.
and my friend group had like a joke about him. Like we would literally be in the movie theater trying to see a movie, and I swear to God, this one time there was like 3 movies with John Goodman in it, and I just kept saying, "Is this movie gonna have John Goodman in the trailer?" And John Goodman was in the trailer, so it became like a little joke in my friend group that we went and saw every John Goodman movie, and we went and saw 10 Cloverfield Lane together, and we saw Con Skull Island together. So shout out to Anthony and the boys if they might watch this. I don't know, but yeah, we love John Goodman. It's kind of the meme in our group, so I do love him.
All right, Collin. John Goodman, over to you.
I mean, I don't know. I don't have much to say about this, honestly. I admire some aspects of it, like the visual style, especially during the race sequences. It's cool. The race sequences were visually cool. They definitely looked the best most of the time out of the rest of the movie. But I think the main thing for me that this just didn't work as a live action movie. It didn't translate well at all. I mean, of course, I haven't read the comic or seen the TV show, but the whole time I was watching this, and it really hit me near the beginning after the initial race. We're at his house, and we go outside, and Speed's older brother is waiting by the car, and the green screen just kind of punched me in the face, and I was like, whoa, okay, here it is. And
yeah, the green screen.
It's definitely done purposeful, but
yeah,
it's just ugly. I didn't like looking at the movie, and I mean that's a part of it. But I mean, I thought the script was just weak. I didn't really care about anything happening story-wise or character-wise. Like we said, the acting was kind of wooden in many performances. I found the movie really boring. Anytime there wasn't a race going on, I was just like, okay, we're back to talking and boring and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
One also thing, like, although I liked the race sequences, I just hated how ridiculous they were. Like
Really?
it didn't bother me at first, but it felt like there was no stakes during the races because Speed Racer, he could just do a triple backflip with his car, bounce off a bunch of things, and land perfectly straight and keep racing while his car is perfectly fine. Other than that last race, it didn't seem like his car was damaged at all, like at any time.
So good at driving, yeah. He's good at
mean,
driving, so it doesn't get damaged.
I think it also showed him like escaping the perilous situations as well.
Sure, but like I don't know, but I
definitely get it. Like, it is happen. I think it's especially weird to like mostly cut out the actual race that he like actually loses the
Fiji Cup.
What it is? Yeah,
or the Fuji.
Where they show like 10 seconds of it, but then it's like it's like weird, right? Because it's like the British guy's like explaining to him like you're going to lose, and then it cuts to him losing, and then it cuts back to the British guy, and he's like, so yeah, anyway, you're going to lose, and that's like a very weird way to do a flashback.
Well, it wasn't even a flashback; it was like a flash forward.
Right. But like of something that's actually happening. Like at first I thought it was just like explaining like, oh, this is going to happen and then maybe it'll turn out differently. But then it was just like, no, that's how he loses. And I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird, but yeah. And it's definitely like the biggest loss he takes, at least in terms of racing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I honestly didn't even think about that, maybe because I was just kind of out of the movie for most of it. But I don't know. It was just like I was saying, the constant him flying in midair, doing cartwheels with the car, bouncing off of things, and I don't know, just as cool as it was energy-wise, I just never felt like the emotion or stakes.
It was so
because
weird.
I knew that he was going to win by the end.
It was almost like, did anyone get like Cat in the Hat or like
yes.
weird
yes.
Dude, it was weird because like at the back of my mind, I kept thinking of fucking Cat in the Hat for some reason. I don't know why. And then I also was thinking about Alita Battle Angel, even though that came after it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what am I? This is weird. And I started zoning out like halfway through the movie. But dude, very strange. I'm glad that you kind of understand what I mean, Collin, because I don't know.
No, yeah.
I kept thinking of Cat in the Hat for some
such
fucking
an
reason.
odd comparison.
I think it's because the colorful production design for the sets and costuming, mainly.
Yeah.
And just like the childish feel of the movie too.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I kept thinking of Cat in the Hat.
I did think of Cat in the Hat and Alita Battle Angel multiple times throughout the movie.
It's really weird that I just mentioned that and Collin understand.
No, yeah, I completely, yeah. I'm on the same page.
Yeah.
One last thing I want to mention was I did like the use of editing here. Like how, kind of what Noah was saying, something would be playing out and it would kind of bounce back and forth, like parallel action about what's going to happen or what will happen, what's already happened, stuff like that. And I especially like the use of the like floating heads that would wipe across the screen during the competition.
During the races.
I thought that was cool. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. That I just didn't like it.
Damn. I mean, yeah, I guess that just happens for movies sometimes.
Trick or Treat 2.0.
Well, no, this is really
this is Vox Lux.
This is Vox Lux. Yeah. This is the inverse of Vox Lux. Because Trick or Treat was 3 against 1. Vox was me and Noah didn't like Vox Lux, and you two liked it. This is legitimately the inverse. But I will also say that, like, even just beyond the fact that there's a lot of colors, the film does use just colors in a filmmaking sense really well, I think, where it really does have a great job at like characterizing the characters' emotions based on like the clothes that they're wearing and like just their personalities in general. And just stylistically, it's just so eye-popping. It's just I don't know how it's just not something that just catches your eye and just
it does. Yeah,
there definitely is like some of the, like especially the neighborhood. I think is probably like the worst.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Distracting, but I don't know. Like when you guys mentioned you were like bored with this movie, I just find that kind of crazy. Like I get not liking it. I just find it weird to be like bored by it. I don't know. I think it's just so visually interesting, and like sure there are talking sequences, but like I didn't really. I mean, obviously, I like this movie a lot more than you guys.
Yeah, obviously. It's just the different opinion.
Yeah.
It's a pretty divisive movie. I mean, shockingly enough. I mean, if you just look at the Letterboxd like chart, it's like
for sure.
It's all over the place.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I understand why Thomas and other people like think this movie is great. It's just not for me, and I'll put it that I just, in my opinion, I've seen better color use in a movie. I do appreciate what this movie, yeah, obviously, but I appreciate what this movie was trying to do, and it does feel very cartoony. It feels like kind of Saturday morning cartoon type movie, and in a way, kind of reminds me like Aquaman in a sense, because like Aquaman to me was just kind of like a ridiculous fucking movie, but it also had very nice colors and it felt like a fucking cartoon. That's kind of what I got from Speed Racer 2, just on a worse scale because I would rather watch Aquaman. But like, I liked it, but I didn't like it because I appreciate certain aspects of it, and I wasn't, I do like the races a lot, but that was it. It was the only like part where I really cared about anything going on. I was like, oh, that was cool, and then like 10 seconds later, I'm like. So yeah, Speed Racer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only other things I wanted to say that we haven't really brought up, well, I guess we sort of touched on the acting. I think the thing about acting, and it definitely helps to be versed with like the Wachowskis' other films, but like I think pretty much any performance in like any of their movies, with the exception of maybe Bound, their debut, like if you take the performance and you put it in another movie, it would just be like baffling and strange, and it wouldn't work like at all. Like think of Keanu Reeves in The Matrix. Like if you put him in any other movie, it would be like, what is, like, why is he acting like this? Like this is so like bizarre. And definitely Keanu Reeves in The Matrix is like one of the more grounded Wachowskis performances in general.
Yeah.
It's pretty
but still,
funny.
just like the I know kung fu part, like just imagine if that came in like
Guns.
any other type
Lots
of movie.
of
That would
guns.
just be, yeah, exactly. I don't know. I just like I think they have a mastery of tone that you don't really see very often, especially with like a weirder, like less serious sort of tone. I like it's sort of like, I don't know. I'm really struggling with this at this point because it's not like,
I think I know what you're saying. Yeah.
it's not your gritty Christopher Nolan, but like
They're
and
just good
obviously
at
this-
nailing just weird tones really well. Like
right,
like
exactly. Like
just
somewhat
like
cheesiness,
kids.
but also like
Yeah.
I do think all of the emotional. I mean, I guess it's mostly just one emotional arc, but I do think it lands really well. I guess Racer X too. I think both of them land pretty hard, at least for me. And they just, I don't know, they work so well, especially in opposition with like Chim Chim, just like the weirdest,
Yeah.
like most bizarre.
Yeah, I remember as a
ever.
kid, like the whole Racer X reveal just like dumbfounded me because I was like, but he just said he wasn't.
Yeah.
Right? It's like as a 9-year-old, it was just like, I can't comprehend lying. What is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is actually one of my big pet peeves in movies is when like early on someone says like, I have an idea that like it's this thing, and then it's like, no, this thing is literally impossible. It cannot be true. And this happens a lot in like heist movies, and that just like normally tends to bother me. Like even now,
annoying.
just when like a character early on says like, it's impossible, this cannot be true.
It's just Arkham Knight in a nutshell.
Well, yeah, I guess.
That's the best example come up with terms of that. Like
Yeah.
it's not Jason Todd. It couldn't be Jason Todd. Oh, it is Jason Todd. Wow, we knew.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for Arkham Knight.
Oh no.
I
The other
will say
thing-
that I don't really mind. Sorry, Noah, but I don't really
That's fine.
mind the reveal of Racer X either. Like,
Well, I like it. Yeah.
yeah, I
No, it
like
doesn't
it.
bother me in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, because like he just shuts it down, and then it's not like there's no like big grandiose reveal like to the whole family where they're like, "Oh my God, you're back." It's just kind of shown, and then he just walks off.
Yeah, I thought it was handled well.
And then also, kind of like in contrast to what, especially like Collin was saying, but also Sebastian to some extent, I do think this is one of the few movies, especially like early on, that like utilizes digital to like shooting on digital. I mean, to the best of its ability, both with like the intercutting of a lot of footage and like the sort of like digital split diopter, and then like the face wipes in some scenes. I just like, again, it's just like unlike any movie that you've ever seen. And I think the CGI, well, again, like it is distracting in some scenes. I think especially in the racing, it's just so over the top. And like, I don't know, I just think it like really works for me. Like it doesn't really seem distractingly bad to me. And like especially the like fist fight in the mountains is another really good example of like stuff that you can only really do like when you're shooting with digital.
Yeah.
And it just
Yeah,
looks
I mean, I didn't deny that it's like it's technically pretty impressive, and in certain scenes, I just again, well, it's not for me.
I
Yeah.
get that. But yeah, I don't know. Really visually and narratively exciting to me, at least, and Thomas. So
Yeah. I would also just like to mention that part of the reason that I feel like to me this works so well as just a live action movie is just because it's, especially for its time, just something that couldn't have been achieved anything but animation. So seeing it like it just in that live action setting is so kind of profound in a sense. It's just so like profound is the word I'm looking for.
I do kind of agree, actually.
Yeah.
It's profound.
I mean, I don't think I'm not a big anime fan, but I just don't think anime like translates well into film. And this is definitely, I'd say, out of everything I've technically seen in terms of manga
Do you
anime,
mean
this is
like
probably, no, I mean like
yeah.
I mean like
Live
manga,
action.
anime,
Mhm.
live action. Because there's been so many attempts over the years, like Attack on Titan, fucking Full Metal Alchemist are all awful.
Yeah.
This is the one I think
Kill
is
Bill.
probably the best I've seen. Because I mean, Speed Racer is a manga, so like, to me, this is definitely the best attempt I've seen at translating something like that. Because it's just anime and manga just don't really translate well to film, and I think this is definitely like probably the most humble attempt at doing it's justice, because it's just so fucking ridiculous that it kind of works. So I just thought I'd mention that too, because I've seen Full Metal Alchemist, I've seen Death Note, I've seen Attack on Titan movies, and they all fucking were awful. And this one definitely has the most charm and personality. So
I agree in terms of the like visual ambition it has in recreating the anime like visuals.
it has that feel to it for sure. It has like the anime style. It's very evident that if you just watch this and knew nothing about Speed Racer, you'd be like, that was like a TV show or cartoon or something, because it just feels like it, But it's a really inoffensive movie that I thought was just fun. It just didn't appeal to me.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I felt about it. I definitely didn't hate it. I just
I didn't hate it either.
didn't like it. It wasn't my thing. So, do we want to go around, give our final scores?
Yeah, sure.
All right, Tom.
Yeah, I'm like a solid 9 out of 10. I mean, I really enjoy it. It's just fun.
And Noah?
Perfect. 10 out of 10. Can't think of a better movie, honestly.
Nice. Wow. Not even Moonstruck.
Wow, but that's...
Okay, no, obviously an exaggeration. It's not my favorite movie from 2008. That is Rachel getting married.
But let us think about it. It does have the best supporting actor performance of 2008.
That we can all agree on.
Yeah.
Sebastian?
1 out of 10.
1 out of 10.
Yep.
I was honestly thinking hopping up to a 2. I feel like I could rewatch this in the future and maybe like it a bit more now that I know what it's going for, Yeah, exactly. So I think I'll give it a 2 out of 10. And that's a 5.5.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is, I think, still better than Vox Lux. So there you go, Thomas.
Yeah, fuck you, Collin. Get out of here. Noah and I are on the right side of history. Ugh.
I mean, it's true, yeah. Because it's on the
I think Vox Lux was pretty good.
Oh, yeah, we are on the right hand. Yeah. Damn, Noah, you're spitting facts.
Well, from my perspective, you're on the left side, Thomas.
From my perspective, Noah and Thomas are on the bottom, and me and Collin are on the top because we're top dogs.
All right, let's get away from this.
Okay, so my pick for next week. Give me 1 second. I want to actually pull it up.
Okay.
Oh,
all right, wait.
All in.
Anyone have any guesses?
Okay, it's a DC animated movie, and it's gonna be a Flash movie. It's gonna be. What DC animated movie did you pick?
My personal favorite, Wonder Woman.
Let's go! Yes.
Okay. I pick for next week's podcast the 2018 real life story heist film called American Animals.
Oh.
It's I haven't seen it since seeing it in theaters back in 2018, and it's one I've always wanted to rewatch since then. It's good, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it.
I have never fucking heard of this movie.
Well, so do you
Barry
remember
Keoghan, Dunkirk Kid, and Evan Peters, Quicksilver, and a couple other people.
I still have never heard of it.
Well, so the really interesting about this, and like I actually really want to see this, I never got around to it, But you remember MoviePass, right, Sebastian?
I do.
MoviePass actually helped produce, helped fund the movie.
Really?
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
And
didn't know
then this movie tanked incredibly bad, and
Which is
so
unfortunate.
so did MoviePass. It didn't help. But MoviePass was promoting this everywhere, and that's where I heard about it.
Yeah, and now look
So-
where we're at. Regal Unlimited and AMC Stubs became a thing because of MoviePass, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, they were the pioneers
Yeah,
of film passes.
the unfortunate pioneers.
Yeah. Well,
Because the people like Thomas.
American Animals.
yeah, American Animals. I'm actually really excited to watch it.
I'm looking forward to discussing it and rewatching it. So I think that will wrap up the.
Go Speed Racer.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean,
That's going to wrap up episode 21 of the Post Pro Podcast. Check it out next week when we watch and review American Animals. Alrighty.
Oh, yeah, they paid $3 million, or they put $3 million into it. MoviePass did.
Awesome.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's get away from the MoviePass
Yeah.
discussion. My bad.
I'm ending this now.
Okay.
Okay.